Big shout out to Fountain Tire. Thanks for getting me rolling on some new winter tires.
Hello and welcome to your Peace Country podcast.
Hello and welcome. We have a little different segment for you today. We are going Firehouse Subs versus Chubbs in a head-to-head competition. But first, we got it at Manic, and we got some more upcoming events for you. Enjoy.
Did you know Grande Prairie has its own secret garden? It's true, Elaine's unique plants and designs. If you love plants, you need to stop in and shop around. Located on the parking lot side of the farmers market, open 5 days a week. And now for upcoming events in the Peace Country.
Safety City is having a Halloween party on October 26th at 12 p.m. On Friday, October 25th, the Industry is having a Halloween party. On October 26th, there'll be a rock tribute with a Kiss cover band at the Jackpot Event Center. Advanced seating, $35. On October 31st, the Lion's Den is having a Halloween haunted house party. Coming to Better Than Fred's, on October 26th, Six String Sergeant. On October 28th, JJ Wild. On Friday, November 15th, Goodbye Irish. On Friday, November 8th, and Saturday, November 9th, there'll be a Christmas market at the Bezanson Community Event Center. Webster's Community Hall will be having a Christmas craft show on November 8th and November 9th. Northern Spirit Light Show will be starting on November 14th at Evergreen Park. City Center is having a Vegas night on November 15th. Businesses will be open till 11 p.m. and you can win a $1,000 gift card to Grand Prairie City Center. One Bad Sun is coming to Better Than Fred's on December 7th. Tickets are $45 in advance. And Kokanee Comedy Night at the Great Northern Casino every Wednesday.
If you have an event coming up and would like us to share on PcP, let us know at peacecountrypodcast@gmail.com.
Peace Country Podcast has a challenge for you. We will give you $100 cash if you spare a 7-10 split at Bowling Stone's 10-Pin Entertainment Center in Grande Prairie, Alberta.
And now it's time for We Got It at Manic with Ryan.
G'day guys, it's Ryan here at Manic Records and Collectibles. Next up, I'm going to talk to you about Edward Scissorhands, the soundtrack. If you haven't seen this movie, you definitely should. It's about this guy who has scissors for fingers, likes to cut hair, and likes to cut trees, and a bunch of other stuff. I do have a copy of the soundtrack. It's amazing. Johnny Depp's in it. If you need a copy, get at me.
And we got it at Manic Records and Collectibles, located in the Prairie Plaza next to Audio Concepts.
Alright, with all the buzz around the new Firehouse Subs restaurant that opened on the west end, we decided to put them head to head with Chubbs Subs on the north end. Previously from Firehouse, I had the brisket sub. It was awesome. And a couple times I've had the buffalo chicken sub from Chubbs. Delicious. But for the purpose of this heads up competition, I went with a sub that both of them had, which was clubs. Who doesn't like a club sub? So first I went into the Firehouse and I got a large club sub on white bread, and it cost me $16.29 before taxes. I went in at $11.52 and I was out with sub in hand by $11.59. So that's only 7 minutes from the time I stepped in the door to the time I stepped out the door with the sub in hand. And I'd give the service and overall experience about a GP8. And then I hopped back in my truck and drove northeast over to Chubbs. I walked in there at 12:07. I ordered a club hoagie, 12-inch, on a white Italian bun. And that came to $14.49. And I walked out of there at 12:18. So a little bit slower at Chubbs. There's a lot less people in there. But overall, it was a great experience and pretty good service. So I'd give it another GP8. So for prices, again, Firehouse was $16.29 and Chubbs was $14.49, which is a difference of $1.80. But with Firehouse, you do get that pickle as a bonus. I don't know if you like pickles or not. I do. So that may or may not be a factor for you. So I drove home and my truck smelled delicious with both subs in there. Couldn't wait to get home and dig into them. But first I had to give them a little measurement. They both measured to 12 inches, a little under maybe. The Firehouse one was a little taller at like 3 inches, where the Chubbs was more like 2.5 inches tall. But the way they package is probably a little squished in. The bun on the Chubbs is a softer bun as well, where it's a little harder crust on the Firehouse, so it probably withstands a little more. But I put them on the kitchen scale, and the Firehouse weighed 580 grams, where the Chubbs Club weighed 588 grams. So the Chubbs sub weighed 8 grams more than the Firehouse sub. So appearance-wise, they both looked delicious. They looked like a sub should look. You know what I mean? It wasn't squished down like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Both of them were delicious. Couldn't wait to dig into them. So it was at this point that I noticed with the Firehouse sub, it was all processed meat. The chicken, the ham, all processed. The bacon was crispy, but sliced like paper thin. Like, you know, like sometimes the bacon you get like at a hotel continental breakfast bacon, that thin. Whereas the Chubbs, it had the processed ham, but the chicken and the bacon were real. Like the chicken was real chicken breast chopped up, and the bacon was like crispy bacon that you would get cooked at a restaurant, like say Smitty's. So now I got to do my taste test. Starting with the Firehouse, bit into it, it was delicious, everything, you know, it was definitely a club. But it was sweet, like there's a sweet sauce to it, not sure what all the ingredients with that is, but it was definitely a sweeter flavor. So then I cleansed my palate and I bit into that Chubbs Club. Oh, what a sandwich. Like it tasted like a club would be if I made it at home. A little bit of softer crust bread. You could taste the mayo and mustard and that bacon. A little bit of crunch. Wow, what a sandwich. So it was at this point that I realized what I had done. I had just had the best lunch someone could ever imagine. What a great idea. 2 brands of club subs in one sitting. Now that's a good lunch. I definitely need to do this more often. I didn't even try to finish both of them in one sitting. I just had a few bites to compare. And I assume now you want the overall results. The Firehouse sub was a little more expensive. It was a little taller of a sandwich, definitely a different bread, and all processed meat, which was a little sweeter tasting. All in all, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. And the Chubbs Club sub was a little softer over the bread. It weighed a little more, and it had the real chicken and real bacon, which is a big deal for me. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Don't forget, you do get that bonus pickle with the Firehouse sub. All in all, I recommend you try each place for yourself. Let us know what you think by Facebook Messenger, comments on YouTube, or even email us at peacecountrypodcast@gmail.com.
I'm thinking about college this fall. What should I know?
Did you know there are tax credits available such as the Refundable Canada Training Credit and the Tuition Tax Credit that you may be eligible for?
Cedar CPA, we have the answers. Find us on Instagram.
That's all we have for you this week. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Please hit those subscribe, shares, and likes, and we'll be back here next week. Enjoy. This podcast only works because you listen. So thank you for listening.
What would you like to hear on PCP? Let us know by email, peacecountrypodcast@gmail.com.
22 Media.